Hello, guys, and welcome back to Everything But the Bagel podcast, where we talk about everything
but the bagel.
So, if you listen to part 1, what's it called? Our comeback special. This is the part 2. Elite Academy Horror Stories. So welcome if you're coming from that podcast. And if this is the first one you're listening to, maybe head back to the other one. Or just stay for the horror stories.
It's up to you.
It's up to you.
This is a free country.
It is.
You can choose.
You can do what you want.
I mean,
but if
I
you'd
might
like
be a little bit offended because, like, we were kind of funny in that first one.
It was pretty good.
You're missing out on some, like, comedic things if you want to laugh about our life, because that's what we
So if you want to be lame
about.
and miss part 1, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. But, anyways, so this is Elite Academy Horror Stories, because who doesn't have some good old high school horror stories?
Exactly. I didn't know what to say to that. Anyway, start us off. What are we talking about first? Because this first story is from you, not me.
Yeah.
I didn't see this happen.
So this story, The Rat, basically, I want to say I was in 8th grade at the time. And I think it was me and some other person. I don't remember who it was. So sorry. But we were in this hallway that has bathrooms, and there's an art classroom at the end, and then like a storage closet, and then there's a door that leads outside. And I was sitting in the hall with said other person, and I want to say we were painting something either for art class, maybe it was for cheer, because I know a couple times we had to paint our signs and stuff, but it was me and another girl, and we were painting something. And all of a sudden we hear like a little scratch.
Ooh.
A little scratchy on the floor. And we were like, how are we supposed to live, laugh, love in these conditions? We didn't know what it was, and we were very concerned. And all of a sudden we stand up because we were like, something sounds like, what is scratching? And we were walking towards the storage closet when all of a sudden, can't make this up, a rat, not a mouse, a rat.
And they're bigger.
They are bigger
than mice.
They are bigger. And I guess the storage closet, for some reason, wasn't fully closed because it didn't slip out from the bottom. It came out of the door.
It didn't slip out.
It didn't, it was a little too rotund for that. This rat had been feasting on wires or something. I don't know, but he was a little chonk. And he ran across the hall into the art room. I don't think I've ever run so fast in my life. I ran the opposite way. I think I completely ran over whatever we were painting. That was so frightening. I hate rats.
Do you know what shocks me about this story?
What?
Is that the movie Ratatouille had already come out at this point that this happened. So, like, why were you scared? That's why he was fat, is because he'd be cooking something good.
Not in our school, he wasn't.
Yeah, our school lunches.
Anyways, but, so that was honestly, that was disgusting. Blech, hate rats. It was so gross.
Let's continue with, like,
infestations
and the unwanted guests at our school.
We had a few.
Every year. And to continue what we were talking about. So this next story, continuing with the unwanted guests. I think I found out recently that, like, this isn't unusual. Like, it wasn't just our school, which I was like, there's a lot of things that happen to just our school, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Anyways, our school had a, ladybug issue.
Infestation, if you will.
Yes, infestation. And I would say I would much rather prefer to be stuck with ladybugs than, say, ants or roaches.
Yeah.
Or any other thing that's, like, 10 times gross. Like, ladybugs are pretty gross because, like, what would happen is, like, the fluorescent lights in the ceiling, somehow the ladybugs would get in there.
You would see, like, 100 of just dead little bodies up there. It was really gross.
Yeah, and it would happen every spring. So, like, you knew spring was coming, not because of, like, the pollen.
Or the weather outside.
It was because the ladybugs.
In the ceiling lights.
Exactly. It was like stars.
Yeah.
But, like, reverse.
I found a couple in my locker. R.I.P.
For real?
Yeah. They were just chilling. Killing.
You know, it's like that Netflix show, like Ladybug and Cat Noir.
Oh, shut your mouth.
I've never seen it, but I know it exists.
Can't relate. I haven't seen like every
episode. Is your arch nemesis like a butterfly man?
No. There was one time I remember I was sick, and so I stayed home from school. And have you ever had that where like you can see the remote and you were too weak to get up and get it and change the channel? Yeah. It was on Disney Channel, and it was.
Or is it a Disney show?
I don't,
because it used to be on Netflix
because it was on Disney,
and I think it is on Disney.
It was like doing the they'd already done Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. They did PJ Masks, which went hard, by the way. Oh, what you doing?
Sorry, we are about to die.
Oh no!
Not us, like physically, literally, but like the
laptop
from which we are recording, and I have to save the day before our recordings are lost.
Well, glad you caught that. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, but yeah, so I couldn't change the channel, and I think I was like in and out of sleep, and I woke up and they were playing that show, and I was like, what is this? It's so goofy. But it was funny. So
I think my sister watched that show. Sorry if you're like ashamed of that. I don't think she is. I think she'd be pretty proud to say that.
I'm pretty sure. Have they gotten together yet? Because I think they like each other in the show, but I think the whole running joke is it's been going for years and they still haven't gotten together.
I don't know. Maybe people just like to watch it for like...
No, they watch it for the romance. They do.
Like when you're sick, you watch like the most oddball things, and like you watch a whole season of it because you have nothing better to do.
Literally.
But yeah, Ladybugs and Cat Noir.
So those are our infestation stories. But following with the October Halloween vibe, I'm sure other schools did this, but Halloween dress-up days, it's like a spirit day.
I'm pretty sure they did.
So, similar to a spirit day, but it was, for Halloween, you got to dress up. Now, me and my brother have been talking about this recently, but with spirit days, but specifically Halloween dress-up day, I don't care who you were. When you dressed up, it was so awkward having to walk into the building the next day because even though it was your idea and you wanted to do it, there was like this fear that, okay, what if no one else dressed up? Or it was just awkward in general of, I don't want to get out of the car, like I'm embarrassed kind of thing. But once you got inside, you were usually, you were fine.
Yeah.
But Halloween dress-up days were my favorite. They were my favorite. So the specific one that I remember was senior year. Me and Lexi dressed up as, she was the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland and I was the Cheshire Cat. My mom and I spent like 3.5 weeks. We handmade my tail. If I can find a picture, I will, but we handmade my tail, and then she made me a little cat ear headband, and it was amazing. Took way too long. I full on woke up at like 5 that morning to do like I hand painted like on my face, like the cat mouth. It was huge. My eyebrows were pink for a week after this. So it was fun. We definitely went all out, and they did a costume contest, and she and I won, but the teacher that announced it, he goes, "Oh, to the 2 rabbits." And I was like, "I'm a cat."
You didn't even look like a rabbit. That's like so sad.
I was so sad, but I remember when I walked in that day. Okay, so we had a test, it was a test in science that day. We had to walk in, we were taking our test in the gym, and there was kids having recess, and for some reason, this Halloween dress-up day, it didn't actually fall, on Halloween. It was just that for Friday in October, and the other it was just for high school, like middle school, high school, so the little kids didn't get the memo, and I'm just walking in with... The kids were running away from me screaming. I was like, I just traumatized these kids. They had no idea. But yeah, that was so fun. But I loved our Halloween dress-up days. You had some costumes that you did. What did you do?
Yeah, so one year I was Beaker from the Muppets. And it was such a simple costume because it was really just his head. Mm-hmm. I think we made like his head from literally poster board.
Yeah.
And, like, just taped it into, like, a cylinder shape, cut out his mouth, and then, like, on top, we put, like, a paper plate and, like, an orange boa.
Amazing.
And, like, that was it.
That was great.
But that was a good costume. It was, like, little effort, but it got the job done. And then one year, I was a squirrel. And it had the hat, or, like, the headpiece. Mm-hmm. And the tail was inflatable, and it takes forever to inflate.
Oh, no.
And so I couldn't sit down at a desk, or like when I did, like the desk was one piece, so like my stomach was being cut in half by the desk.
Yeah.
Because I had to sit so awkwardly. So like after we had taken pictures, because like for some reason we were outside. I remember that. For that year, we were outside, so I took a picture of, like, me lying on the ground in front of cars in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And then I acted like I climbed up a tree. Oh, and the costume came with, like, 2 acorns.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then after that, my friend Livy, she had to help me, like, deflate the tail. Because, like, the tail comes out of the costume, and it looks like a pool toy.
Yeah.
That you would just, like, inflate and deflate or whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, we had to, like, sit on it and, like, wait for the air to get out and everything.
It's just whistling out.
But then I had this shirt with, like, this huge squirrel face on it. So, like, I was still somewhat in costume.
That's great.
But...
Yeah. I know another fun costume that Lexi and I, we love to coordinate our costumes for Halloween if we could. And so for one year, it was our 10th grade year, we did Mario and Luigi. I was Luigi, she was Mario. Now here's the thing. Our school had like a no scary policy. So we knew for just the school dress up, it was just plain old Mario and Luigi. But for actually, because it was on Halloween, so Halloween that night... we were vampire Mario and Luigi. And so we had gone to the Spirit Halloween store, and I got the Scarecrow brand vampire teeth that you mold to your teeth. By the way, they're amazing. I still have them. They're great. And I got that brand, and I told Lexi which brand to get. She found another brand that was cheaper, so she got, like, from Spirit, so she got those ones. But unfortunately, the mold was basically just sticky tack, and so it didn't work, so her teeth didn't work. So we were like, okay, you know what? I'm a vampire. You got bit by a vampire. So we had to make, I had to make her neck look bruised, and, like, I had to put fake vampire blood, like, on her neck. It was... It was so funny.
Great way to improvise, though.
To be honest, I'm not sure many people, like adults, fully understood what we were, but they're just like, oh, zombie Mario and Luigi. And we were like, yeah, give us candy, please. But it was so much fun, though.
What I've found nowadays is that, like, even though you don't go trick-or-treating, what's fun is, so at my church, we do trunk-or-treat.
Yeah.
And so we have, like... We do, like, something different every year. Like, some people just decorate with, like, fall decorations, or they'll bring out scarecrows, and they're all like, oh, it's fall, happy Halloween, and, like, it gets the job done. I'm not rapping on y'all, but us, we go out. So... We've done, the first year we did trunk or treat, it was like the first one. There was only like 5 cars. And our church is pretty big, but I don't think people were accustomed to the idea of trunk or treat yet.
Yeah.
So there was only like a few of us. So we did snowboard things. And it was actually freezing that year. It was windy. So we were actually smart. So we were dressed in like our full snowboard gear and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. The second year, we did Baby Shark because that's what was popular. My mom was literally dressed as a shark. I was a lifeguard, and my sister was, I think she was a scuba diver or something. And then the next year we did Out of This World, and the first idea was, let's just get a bunch of different inflatable costumes, because I've always wanted to try one.
Yeah.
Well, it turned out being Out of This World, and it was like alien. So my sister was an alien, I was an astronaut, and my mom was someone riding on the shoulders of an alien.
Oh, yeah.
So that was pretty fun. And then last year, we did Aladdin, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Michala was supposed to be Jafar.
I know. I got sick and I had a fever. I felt so bad.
It was going to be so iconic. But my mom ended up being Jafar.
I'm so sorry. I was so sad.
I was the genie, so I was blue. And a friend of ours, Joseph, he was Aladdin, and Lindsay was Jasmine.
Great costume.
But
So great.
it's, like, doing it for kids is a lot of fun because, especially last year with doing Aladdin, my sister, who's Jasmine, like, all the kids loved her. They all wanted to, like, take pictures with her because when we do it, we try to go all out. Like, we're like, if you're gonna do the costumes and it's for the kids, like, do it well.
Yeah, and see, I like that because at this age, we literally, obviously, you know, we're in our 20s.
I have
we're
adult money.
We're too old to, quote unquote, trick or treat.
Yeah.
But we can still dress up and, you know, like, for kids. They enjoy when people go all out for costumes, you know?
Yeah.
So it's so fun seeing their reaction, unless they're running from you in a gym. But usually their reactions are so fun.
There was one year, I want to say it was the year that we did the Out of This World thing. There was a family, there was like 7 or 8 of them. They did Monsters, Inc., and it looked amazing. I was like...
See,
we had to run for our money that year because...
That's how you do it.
They did so well.
That's great.
It's just that kids, like, they just love it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun for them because they get to see the different decorated trunks.
Yeah.
And everything. And it's like... the same thing, like, when our church does VBS. Like, we do theme nights and stuff. So, like, you go all out so the kids, like, get immersed into it and really enjoy it. I feel.
I love that.
But, like, that's another outlet of, like, experiencing Halloween, like, on the other side. Not as, like, someone receiving candy, but, like, as someone, like, giving out candy and trying to give an experience to a kid.
Yeah.
And then, this next story. This did not occur, like, anywhere around Halloween. Because it was someone's birthday. And me and my sister, we were close with this person. And so she invited us. Well, for some reason, she wanted to hang out at the school after hours. So, like, nobody else was there. Yeah. So it was like a lock-in, but with, like, less than 10 people. So it wasn't really a lock-in.
Yeah.
And we didn't sleep at the school.
Thank God.
So, whatever you want to call that.
Yeah.
But anyways, we played basketball in the dark, but, like, messing around like it wasn't actually a game. I don't know why we didn't turn on.
Someone would have gotten smacked in the face with a ball.
There was a stuffed animal, and I can't remember, like, what the stuffed animal was. I just know it was a stuffed animal, and one of the girls at the party threw it up on top of one of the speakers.
Oh, no.
In the gym. And I don't know if anybody ever got it down. I just remembered that. Because I would be like...
Let's go scout it. Let's see if it's up there.
Can you see it? But anyways, that happened there. And then we were playing sardines. Mm-hmm. In the hallway that Michala was talking about earlier, where it was like the science classroom and the art classroom. And then in the back was a door to the soccer field.
Yeah.
Like, we were playing sardines. Or, like, something. And, like, someone was hiding. And then all of a sudden, like, this girl that was at the party, she starts doing, like, this. I don't even know. Is it, like, a grunge walk? Or, like, the girl from The Ring? Like, the girl in the well? Now, I would like to preface that I've never seen The Ring, so don't think things about me. But, like, the girl from the well, where, like, her hair's down. And she's, like, in this wide, like, caveman stance. And she's, like... creepily, like, she's waddling
she's
toward you.
Almost like a low squat with, like...
Like a sumo squat.
Yeah, and then had the, like... I think it was, like, inspired, but obviously that doesn't happen in those... Not really, like, I mean, yes, but no. It was inspired by that, for sure. And it was... I wish y'all could see it.
It was so funny.
It was so fun, but it was creepy.
Like,
and she loved to do it to scare people. She was on our cheer team, and she would scare some of us, or especially the younger girls. We'd turn off the lights to the room where we would wait to get ready for games and stuff, and the little girls would come in, and she would scare them, and it was so funny.
And then something else that happened at that party, for some reason there was a shopping cart there. I don't think I've seen it since.
Oh, they used to keep that in the back.
They did?
Outside, literally up at they used to keep it. It was a Home Depot shopping cart.
You know what? It foreshadowed, like, the rest of my life.
No, it did.
Especially since there was one girl in the shopping cart and another girl was pushing her and, like, they ran into the wall. So, like, that was very symbolic of what was going to happen in my life. They were prophesying.
No, they were.
Putting it into existence. But, yeah. the whole party was dark at the school. For whatever reason, I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun at the time, but maybe you guys don't find that fun. We also used to have lockouts, which the youth group I used to go to, they used to host it, and I want to say, like, during our time there, I want to say they did, like, 3 or 4 of them. And they did
lock-ins?
one... Yeah, lock-ins. Did I say lockouts?
Yeah. I was like,
so
there
dumb.
are lockouts, but I was like, I'm pretty sure they didn't do any
Yeah,
of
we
that
slept
art.
outside.
Okay.
Anyways.
Why did I laugh like that? Sorry.
Lock-ins.
Lock-ins, yeah.
Yeah, we did,
I went to, like, 2 of them.
I think I went to all of them. Or, wait, no. I didn't go to... No, I think I did go to all of them.
I had to stop going, though, because I would get sick because I wouldn't sleep. I wouldn't go to sleep. I'd stay up all day. And I'd get sick every single time. And my mom was like, no, you're not. And honestly, it was a good idea because, yeah, I would get sick and then have to miss school, and it just wasn't good.
Lock-ins, like, in theory, seem like a lot of fun because you're like, ooh, what's it like after hours? It's not really any... that different, but it was kind of fun being able to, like, mess around with, like, without anybody, like, seriously getting onto you, because, like, in the chapel, we would watch, like, movies on the big screen, so that was kind of fun. There was one time where we played...
what building you got, though, because sometimes, now, if you had a lot of basketball players, girls or guys, then sometimes you'd want the gym, you'd want that building. But then if you're like me and you really don't care about basketball or doing anything like that, I wanted the other building. I wanted the chapel. I wanted to be able to watch movies and lay, I don't know, on carpet, not a gym floor. But yeah, so honestly, the building, and it switched every time. So like one lock-in, the girls had the gym. The next lock-in, the boys had that building. But it genuinely depended on what building you were in as to how much fun the night part would be, meaning like once you split up at a certain time for okay, it's quote unquote bedtime, people can sleep, and we're splitting girls and guys in separate buildings, whichever building you got kind of was like, okay, this is either the good part or the bad part. Like I remember the last lock-in I went to, once they decided to split up the groups and we did not like the building we were in, me, my friend at the time, and then Cameron, we left. We were like, okay, we're going home now. We're like, we're not sleeping here. We straight up left.
Honestly, that wasn't like that bad of an idea. Because
honestly,
lock-ins are super tiring. And there was
we got to do the fun part, but then we got to go home and 1, sleep, but 2, sleep in our beds.
Yeah, that
honestly is how I would... If I ever were to do a lock-in again for any reason at my ripe age of 23, yeah, I would definitely do that. Like, yeah, I'll stay for the fun part, but then I'm going home to sleep.
Yeah, because, like, anywhere that you slept, there was no comfortable place to sleep. So, like, that factors in a lot of, like, your insomnia.
If I slept on one of those floors today, I promise you I'm not moving the next day. Someone's scraping me off the gym floor because my bones would be brittle. They would not work.
I can't get up.
No, literally.
You needed Life Alert.
You know what? Don't tempt me now. I got money now. Not really, though. I got bills.
I got adult money now.
I got adult money. I'm gonna get Life Alert. They're like, you're 23. I'm like, yeah, tell that to my back and my knees. They don't believe me.
My body's older than I am.
It thinks I'm 80 and in a wheelchair. Like, it thinks I need to just stop moving.
Anyways.
Another spoopy story.
It's not even that spoopy.
No, I'm not talking about the golf cart.
Oh, sorry. All right, please start over.
I'm going off. Okay. So, another little spoopy story from the Elite Academy. We had a lot of basketball games, you know, that was the main sport we did. We had basketball. We didn't have football. I digress. But we had homecoming games, you know, we had home games, stuff like that. And our homecoming game, obviously, it took place later at night. It was like maybe 8 or 9. It wasn't that late, but late enough to be dark outside.
I want to say, like, the actual court part probably started, like, around that time. Because the basketball games when we had 4 teams, they would start at like 4:30.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you were waiting around school the
literally.
whole time, or that's the time that the basketball games started.
Yeah. So by the time that this game was going, it wasn't the last game, but it was like maybe one of the ones before. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But it was dark outside. And so we had a playground in the back. So if you went out of the back gym door, you were like right outside. And so we had a playground. And so me and a few other friends, I know Sydney was there. I know Skylar was there. I want to say there was maybe like 2 other people. I don't remember who or if there were. But we went down to the playground and we were on the swings. And now this is located right by, like, there's a bunch of trees, like some woods. And then there's some houses back there and people lived back there. So far enough to be like, they're not like right on top of the school, but close enough to where, you know, if someone's out there, like, making noise, you're going to hear them kind of thing. So we were, like, on the swings. I want to say Skylar got kicked. And she was, like, laying in the wood chips. What?
How'd she get kicked?
Oh, we were on the swings, and she was standing in front of, and I want to say it was me. I think I kicked her. Me or Sydney, but she went down.
R.I.P.
She was laying in the wood chips. And then all of a sudden, we hear a shriek. And we were like, what's going on? Now, we weren't scared because, well, 1, the school was right there, but 2, the way the person was screaming, it wasn't like they were screaming out of, like, oh, pain or fear. Like, it almost just sounded like someone shouting, but it was creepy enough to be like, okay, we're out here alone in the dark by some woods and trees, and we just hear screaming. And I think it happened like 3 times, and we were like, LOL, what's going on? Is someone being murdered? So we went, we were like going back to the school, because we're like, okay, that's creepy. I think we get to the wooden stairs, like going up, and I swear someone yelled, run. And so we were like, okay. So we ran back into the school, because we were like, we're done. We're going to go watch basketball now. And again, I don't even think the people over there knew we were outside, because we weren't really making noise. I think they were messing with each other over at their house, but it was still creepy to us.
Oh no, for sure. I'd be running too.
But it was like one of those where, like, you're laughing. Like, you're not like truly scared. Like, it was funny, but because it was like obviously dark, it's like, oh, that's kind of creepy.
Nope. Could not be me. Could not be me. I don't think there's any other scary stories. Or, like, anything creepy.
Yeah. Not, like... Because obviously there's high school horror stories, but, this pretty much summed up, like, our somewhat creepier stories. There's not really... We didn't have a lot of, you know... Our school wasn't haunted. We didn't have anything weird happening.
Not that we knew of.
Not that we know of. But, at least to my knowledge, from my experience, I don't have any more stories. Other people that went there might be like, oh, yeah, no, I have a story.
So, please, if you went to the Elite Academy, you know who you are.
If you have any haunted stories or any little spooky happenings,
please let us know, and we will talk about them in a future episode.
Yeah, we can, you know, write it up. We'll read it out for you.
Yes, and you will become famous. You might gain 1 or 2 followers, but that's it.
You might have 60 people that listen to it.
Yeah, that's why you want to tell us your stories. And even if you did not go to our school, because we don't want to exclude anyone.
Yes. Anyone. If you have any type of, you know, high school spooky story that happened and you want to share, send it to us.
Please do.
You can DM us on Instagram.
Slide into the DMs.
Slide into those DMs.
But only the podcast one.
Yeah, the podcast
one. Don't do our personal ones.
What is it? EBTB_podcast.
And if you listen to this episode, how about you comment a ghost emoji?
Amazing.
For the start of spooky season.
I love ghosts. I literally have a ghost on my phone case right now. It says it's spooky season.
Because it is spooky season.
It is spooky season. It's the first day of October.
Woohoo!
Amazing. But wow, thanks guys for listening to this episode of horror stories.
Of course. And this concludes our comeback special, but just because it concludes the comeback special does not mean we are finished. Of course, we are planning more episodes.
We are. We're going to have more spooky stories. They just won't be related to the Elite Academy.
Of course. Of course. But we're going to be talking about more things, maybe reviewing more TV shows or movies that we've watched.
Yes, especially Halloween movies coming out this year.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
The ugly.
But anyways, Yeah, follow us on Instagram. Let us know that you listened to this podcast. And tune in to our Instagram for anything new.
Any updates will be posted there.
Of course. So, with that being said, enjoy October. Hopefully it gets a little bit cooler outside and the leaves start changing colors.
I'm so excited. So excited.
But anyways.
Have a good one, guys. We'll see you next time.